In recent news, Nintendo unveiled their new model for the Nintendo Switch. It's not the 4K version or upgraded hardware that everybody wants, but Nintendo was like, you know what? We heard what you guys want, and we don't care. Get everybody. Here is the Nintendo Switch OLED model. Now, when that announcement trailer came out, I want to cut over to our resident Nintendo guru here, Casey. I know you saw.
Me?
Yeah, I know you saw the announcement. I know you're all for Nintendo. Now, was this thing something substantial to whip your appetite for upgrading your Nintendo Switch and getting into the new hubbub?
Absolutely not. Nintendo fans have been angling for the quote-unquote legendary Switch Pro for quite a while now, which we're thinking the Switch has been out since what, 2017?
Mm-hmm.
You know, life cycle on a game system is going to be between 4 to 7 years. So the Switch is getting up there. It's a little bit of a baby boobop grandpa, but we're at a point where it's either get off the pot. Give us an enhanced version of the Switch, midway through its life cycle, or give us a Switch Pro, a Switch 2. We need that little extra. So the thing about it is the screen is 0.8 of an inch larger. So you've got a 6.2 inch screen on your bog standard Switch now, and it gets beefed up to a hefty 7.0. If the commercials are to be believed, it would just make everything look absolutely gorgeous. I don't actually know anything about OLED screens other than the fact that the blacks are supposed to be really black.
Whoa!
Like to the point where
what?
Oh,
Sergio,
okay.
Whoa! Whoa!
I guess I could have said
blacks.
I guess I could have said the darks, but that probably wouldn't have helped.
Whoa! What is
the black air? Can you let me? Can you stop?
You don't keep saying the black word.
The black area of your screen is supposed to be like pitch black. It's that same kind of definition that they show you where it's like, oh, you're in Dolby Prime instead of just regular Dolby watching your movies. I heard from another source that is also vaguely familiar with the technology that it actually turns off select parts of your screen to fully capture that perfect amount of like pure black.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is fine, but I mean, if you're playing it at home or playing it on a handheld, you're going to need a TV to match. It's still going to have glare, like regular sun is shining behind me kind of glare, right?
Yeah, it's not going to matter if you have a TV that's not going to also be OLED, right?
Right, because it's just this little dinky doo screen that you've got.
We're just talking about what the actual screen, what happens with the actual screen. The changes to the screen have nothing to do with the changes that you see when you plug it into a TV.
Yeah. Right.
So the OLED, the technology itself, it's better. It's more energy efficient because it has to do with like they actually turn off to get those deep blacks. They actually do turn off each LED. It looks better. Right now, we're at about the 4-year mark of the Switch, and for pretty much every other generation, most console generations are about 8 years long. So we are basically at the halfway point, and I see this as like the mid. This is like the Switch equivalent of the PS4 Slim. Like it's a minor improvement on there, nothing crazy. There's still rumors that there is going to be a Switch Pro that's going to come out. I'm not writing it off yet, but this sure isn't it. Cool improvements for folks that don't have a Switch yet.
Chief.
This ain't it. If you don't have a Switch, like this is the model to get. Obviously, better kickstand, better screen. Fine. It's the 3DS XL model upgrade. But I don't think anyone that currently has a Switch is going to be like, oh yeah, I definitely need to get this one instead.
Like who's buying Nintendo products for the graphics anyway, dude? You're buying it
zero people.
You're buying it for Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. You're not buying it for 1080p, 4K.
Game Boy over Game Gear.
That's it.
All I gotta say.
Yeah, for real, dude. Game Gear also sucked batteries off like you wouldn't.
It did, but it looked really good for what it was.
Sure.
For both minutes, you could play it.
I'm thinking. You know what I'm genuinely thinking? I'm thinking the only real people who are going to get an OLED Switch, other than collectors, obviously, because they'll buy everything. Metroid Dread Bundaru. You pack in the game, you give it a little sticker, a little decal on the front of it. Bingo, bango, bongo. You get yourself a system sale. I think that's primarily where this is going to come from. Do we know if all of the Switches being manufactured going forward are going to be this version?
I don't know because I'm guessing it's going to be like because there was like there was an upgraded battery version that came out as well that they
Right.
like low key did, and then that was like replacing their initial one. At the moment, like on their website, they are 2 different price points.
Okay.
So weird, but I don't know if that's just to kind of fade like in the mid, like trying to phase out the other ones. Not that you can buy a Switch at the moment.
What's
Anyways,
the markup? Is it an extra 50 or an extra hundo?
extra 50. I believe it's 350 for the OLED model and 299 for the standard.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you don't have a Switch, it's a nice looking.
I
Nice
do
looking
love
screen.
that crisp white.
Yeah,
I really
actually,
do.
the white's pretty cool.
Casey, God damn.
He loves white
stop.
stuff. He's got, you know, the
Please.
blacks.
My boss watches the show. Please no.
Casey's talking about all the,
We tease 'cause we love.
all the deep blacks and the darks, and he loves the whites. Oh man, it's great. The whites. Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a really
White Switch.
that's a really good point that Chris brought up. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch, I think now is a good time to get one, because as Alex was saying in the chat, amongst other things, giving Casey the sauce. Like Nintendo doesn't really care about hardware and like, you know, advancing certain things. You know, they milk everything for what it's worth. And although fans want like a good hardware update, like it's true. Like people don't really play Nintendo games for like the graphics and the hardware. You play for like the game mechanics, how fun it is. You know what I mean? I mean, you see games like Mario Golf, like doing gangbusters. I mean, that's not really like a graphically intensive game like something on the PS5. So although I hear Nintendo fans, it's like, dude, when this thing was presented, like the live stream was insane. You got over 100,000 people screaming, "What about the hardware?" and OLED, but there's no like further upgrade to anything else. There's a kickstand. It's like, yeah, I get it, but Nintendo's just like, listen, you fat idiots, you're gonna buy this stuff and you're gonna like it. You little pigs, pay up, little
Just
oinkers.
take it. Oink, oink.
You little
You're gonna buy Breath of the Wild for a second time. Give us some money.
100%, 100%.
Damn it!
I mean,
I did buy it for a second time. and I'm
dude,
proud.
yeah, I mean, on the Video Game Awards years ago, Reggie's Fizz Hamid said it. He's like, "Oh, where are you gonna play Zelda? On Nintendo. Where are you gonna play Donkey Kong and Mario? On Nintendo. Pay up, little piggies. We know what we're doing. This is the only place you can come get some. Come and get it."
The world is gonna lose their damn minds if Nintendo ever does a PC port for anything.
I
Oh
know.
my God.
They'll never do it though.
Yeah, no, they'll never do it.
Imagine.
Like their proprietary systems and everything make too much money. Like people are going to buy this Switch, you know, just like how like collectors buy the Game & Watch, even though it's not really worth anything and it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. Link God in chat is saying the Nintendo Switch will be the same until Nintendo decides they want to introduce a new physical element to the controller, like a jump rope or something. Oh, interesting.
Like a jump rope.
I mean,
Stop.
they kind of came close with what was that game they made with the cardboard boxes and you could put the Switch inside?
Oh, Labo.
Yeah,
Labo.
yeah, like Labo.
Labo's
That's-
cool.
yeah.
I was even gonna say Ring Fit Adventure, which I'm honestly sincerely tempted to buy because
I just bought that for Amy.
I need better motivation to go to the gym. I really do.
I think something like that will entice people, right? Like if we can be tricked into exercising by playing a game, like I'm all for it too. Like it looks
It
pretty
worked
cool.
for
It's
Wii
pretty
Fit,
popular.
man. It did.
Dude,
It did.
the Wii Fit sold like crazy. Everybody got it, and you know, even though it was most intensive, I saw people like make it work, like putting on like weighted vests and weighted like leg pads and stuff like that, and doing all the
Goku
different
training
ways.
clothes.
Yeah, 100%
Yeah.
Goku training, like getting the Wii Fit out and getting like a weighted vest and like arm pads and like things you can put on your legs that like are filled with sand. I'm like, damn, let's go. But yeah. So Nintendo is doing something interesting here with this OLED. I mean, I don't think they really pissed off their entire fan base, but it's interesting. It's really interesting. I think they've been working on this for some time, but if the OLED is the only thing that really changed on this thing and the kickstand, I mean, hey.
Also, think about like so. Right now, there's the whole microprocessor shortage as well, which they would have needed to have like more to beef up that like the graphics performance, anyways. So I'm wondering if that also may have come into like added to the factor of like they just built something out of the parts that they could get, which also may be a 2020 2021 problem that we're currently still dealing
What are
with.
we gonna do with all these leftover screens? Let's
Yeah.
put them together, make them slightly larger, and we'll sell it to them. They'll buy it. The rubes.
You it's like Phil Ken 7, you rubes, you suckers, you extra.
Listen, I'm genuinely more concerned not that Nintendo is releasing like minor hardware upgrades, but that they're releasing what is basically unfinished software and finishing it later.
How do you mean?
Wait, what do you mean?
That's right. Well, like, okay, so you look at any legacy game, right? A legacy franchise, something like Animal Crossing or even something like Mario Golf, and you look and you go, all right, what does this have that the previous game doesn't have? Or what do the previous games have that this new version is lacking, right?
Revenue.
And for something like the new Mario Golf, it could be something as like there's half the characters to choose from in the game. Like, sure, there's new modes, but there's also like a lot of stuff taken out. Like, there's no ring shot, there's half as many courses. But on day one of launch, they promised that, we've got things in the works. We've got, we've got stuff coming, free DLC, fellas, free DLC. It's coming out. It'll be yours and an update a couple of months from now. When in fact, you could have just pushed the game back a little more and released it with more content from the onset. It feels cheap to me, and I know that a lot of people sort of feel similarly about it. I don't know if you guys have a strong opinion about this per se.
I disagree. I think that if you have a strong enough base game and you have the ability to phase it out, it gives the ability to actually increase the length and the profitability of that product. Like the people that are really excited are going to get it at first. And they're going to play it for a few months. And you know what? Once they get through that content, great, let's give them a little bit more. It actually increases how long you're playing that game. And, if that person really likes it, they're going to tell their friends about it. And then they're also going to jump on board because you get a lot more bang for your buck this way. And especially since we see in like massive big budget games, like we see it all the time where games keep just getting pushed back because they're having stability issues. But with Nintendo, their smaller teams, stability is less of an issue because the games themselves are less like juggernauty about like how much their graphics fidelity is. So
yeah,
I'm on board with this. That's fine.
You got to pick your poison, man. You got to pick, like, do you want another Cyberpunk situation or do you want Animal Crossing, which is continuously putting out content? You know what I mean?
You say it, but we're a little hungry for updates. Speaking as a big Animal Crossing guy, I'm a little starved, man.
Yeah.
Nothing substantial in at least 4 to 5 months.
Well, that's why you get Mario Golf.
That's why you get Mario. Yeah.
I got Mario Golf.
just feed your crave with more. Just consume. Consume.
That's literally capitalism, my friend.
Just consume. You'll feel better if you buy a new thing.
I absolutely love that. No Animal Crossing updates. Here's Mario playing golf.
That's it.
I love it. People will buy
Sorry, you wanted an Animal Crossing update? No. Have a different game. Play something else.
Nintendo update Animal Crossing so Casey can stop asking for it.
Yeah, that's it. Please just do it.
Yeah.
We could just send tweets.
It's only like the best-selling game on your system. You released it during quarantine for everyone to have.
Yep, Nintendo OLED. Let's see what the future has in store for Nintendo.